Hello, it's Rainbow here, and last video I forgot to turn my ring light on, but I have turned it on now, so enjoy it not being dark. Also, I forgot to mention why the background is different, and it's because I'm actually at my sister's place while I'm filming this, instead of at home with my alien tapestry in the back. But anyways, we have 3 more Reddit posts to go through today, and they are all Am I the Asshole posts. The first one being, am I the asshole for telling my husband about an insecurity I've always had since the beginning of our relationship? And then we've got, am I the asshole for snitching on my brother after I found out he's vaping? And the last one we'll do is my 19 male boyfriend of 2 years says he doesn't support my 18 female choices. Am I the asshole? So let's get into the first one. And we have a 35 female OP who told their husband, 34 male, today that it makes me feel bad that he looks at other women on the internet. This is something he's always done since the beginning of our relationship, 13 years, and in retrospect I know I should have said something from the beginning, but I was in such a bad place mentally due to having my abusive ex, I didn't have it in me. We had a disagreement, not related to this subject, and he dismissed me to turn back to look at his phone. I then was a smartass and told him to enjoy looking at his girls. He then asked me what I meant, and I told him how I know he looks at other girls all the time and that it's always made me feel insecure. I also told him that I knew when we first got together that he was receiving nudes from one of his friends and would also sext her. He thought I was going through his phone, but in reality he never hid what he was doing, so I never had to go through his phone. He would do it sitting next to me while we were watching TV or eating dinner. Even when we were going together he would sex this other girl, and I let it happen because I felt so low about myself and he treated me amazing other than that, so I let it go. He stopped talking to the other girl about a year into our relationship, and he hasn't done anything like that since her. He just constantly looks at other girls on a daily basis. I'll look over at him in bed to ask a question, and I'll see some naked chick on his screen. I just push my feelings aside and act like I never saw anything. I have to interrupt here and say that is fucking terrible behaviour on the boyfriend's part. And why would you be with someone for 13 years if up to a year in the beginning of the relationship he was sexting somebody else and not hiding it whatsoever? Like, why would you be with someone like that? I would have left them immediately if I discovered they were doing something like this. Why do women put up with such terrible behaviour from men like this? Anyways, I personally don't think I'm attractive in any way. I've always been a bigger girl due to thyroid issues, so I for some reason always thought it was fair of me to let him look at girls that were better looking than me. I now see that was a mistake on my part. Good. After I told him everything, he stormed off and hid in our bedroom for over an hour, saying that he'll just get rid of his phone and that his conversation is getting stupid, and just kept getting defensive. I never once raised my voice or got mean. I calmly explained how it made me feel and he lost it. He just left the apartment completely just now. I know I'm partially to blame for this because I let it go for so long and I finally reached a breaking point with it. I also never wanted to tell him because I knew he would act this way, and I got into a fight or flight mode when stuff like this happens. I shut down, and now I feel exhausted. I feel like a dumbass for saying anything in the first place. I should just kept my mouth shut. Am I the asshole for telling him how I feel and waiting so long to tell him because I certainly feel like one? No, you should have left this man in the first place when you found out he was cheating on you. What? Let's get into some comments. Well, you're not an asshole, but keeping quiet for so long didn't do you any favours either. I mean, think about it. bro was just straight up looking at nude women in your presence without a care in sight. Doesn't seem like he was making any effort to keep it a secret, so he probably assumed you didn't have a problem with it. I think you should seek therapy to learn how to stand up for yourself more. Seems like it's long overdue. I agree with that. OP needs therapy because no person that I know would let this slide and just not say anything for 13 years. 13 years they've been together, and I don't know why or how. The next comment reads, not the asshole, you are young and still deserve better. Focus on yourself, go get some therapy and improve that self-confidence that is growing, and don't let losers treat you poorly. Also agree with that one. And our last comment is, not the asshole, you didn't blow up, you didn't yell, you calmly explained something vulnerable and he went full defensive mode and dipped. That's not you causing drama, that's him not wanting accountability. So that story was crazy, mentally ill, absolutely off the rocker. But let's get into our next story. We have a 15 female OP and their brother is 13 female, and they're asking if they're the asshole for snitching on their brother after finding out he's vaping. Now it reads, I and my little brother have always been close, we were like best friends. Back when we were a lot younger we used to fight over everything and just call each other names. Thankfully that phase of ours passed and we became besties. Until one day, a few months ago when we were chatting, I was probably studying because I'm in 8th grade, exams coming up, and he was watching TV. He suddenly pulled out a vape and started vaping right in front of me. I was shocked. I immediately grabbed it out of his hand and scolded him. He tried to make me shut up. My mum was in the other room, so I lowered my voice, but I was still pissed. I told him how this was very bad and he shouldn't do this. I asked where he got it from and he said, I found it on the ground. What? Dude, I swear I was so disappointed and disgusted. I continued scolding him, and then after some time I finally calmed down and just threw the vape away. We made a promise which was like, I will not say a single thing to our parents or to anyone if he promises me to never do it again. He promised he won't. 1 or 2 weeks passed, and after I came home from school, he was already home, playing on his PC. I noticed that the windows were wide open, which I found really odd. Anyway, I ignored it and got straight to studying, until my mum came home and I heard her asking my brother what was that smell in the room. My heart literally skipped a beat. I stood up and just casually walked to him, and then I smelled it too, that disgusting smell of vape. I was angry and disappointed. I looked at him and immediately questioned him, saying this wasn't what we agreed on. He just brushed it off, saying it was nothing and that he doesn't smell anything. Later that day, I started smelling the vape all around the apartment. It got me feeling so sick. Yes, the smell of vape always makes me want to throw up. I went to my mum and told her what was going on since my brother broke his promise, so I snitched. She was actually so calm about it, which was weird. She later asked him why he did have one of those, and my brother, let's just say, he got really pissed at me. He started arguing with me, asking why I would do this and that I was a jerk. I told him that we made a promise and he broke it. He said he'll never trust me again and said you vape too and I didn't snitch. Interesting. Okay. For context, when I was 13 I had a very good friend who was really into energy drinks and vaping. I didn't even know what vape or energy drink was. So she easily got me into all these bad stuff. I bought a vape and we were sharing, but honestly I was only vaping because I thought it was cool. It always made me so sick and dizzy, yet I didn't stop until 2 to 3 weeks later when I fainted because of it. Again, I was vaping for like 2 to 3 weeks, but after that, never again. My brother is vaping for months. Some people said from our friend group that he already started last summer. He shows no sign of stopping and he is getting in so much trouble, like school trouble, gang troubles, etc. Also, my mum doesn't give a fuck. She just brushed it off as a phase and saying that when I was in his age, I smoked too. I got into a huge argument with her. I might have been a little harsh, but I told her that she wasn't being a good mother and she was letting her own son poison himself. For how things are now, me and my brother drifted apart. We barely talk since he's on his PC all day or out with his friends, probably smoking and vaping around, and I'm at home all day studying and trying to keep up. My parents doesn't care, as it seems, at all, and I'm left alone, worrying about my little brother I grew up with. One or two of his friends even called me names like a bastard for snitching. So am I the a-hole for telling my parents? Because really, I was just trying to save him. Well, with these people being so young, it's a difficult phase of life growing up. But I don't think this OP's the asshole, because they made a promise, the brother broke the promise, and so the consequences of breaking that promise were, what's the word? Forget about it. Let's get into some top comments. Not the asshole, you did a good deed. Second one, not the asshole, you did what you were supposed to do. And the last one, not the asshole, you should tell your mum about the dangers of it since she doesn't seem to understand. Yeah, I feel like the mum's not really stepping up and doing the right thing here, which is very, very difficult because this young person can't really do anything. I know they're an older sibling, so the younger sibling should look up to them and take some ideas from them on how to act and conduct themselves, but I don't know. This OP is not the asshole, but it's a really difficult situation. I'm not sure what advice I could give, and I'm not the person to be getting advice from, to be honest. Let's get on to our last post of the video. My 19 male boyfriend of 2 years says he doesn't support my 18 female choices. Am I the asshole? Sorry if this is poorly worded, I'm currently upset. Today I went out with friends and bought a black red corset top for warmer times. I am alternative gothic and I found it super pretty. All my friends found it adorable, even a Catholic girl said it was cute. I did a shopping haul on call with my boyfriend. Lastly I showed the top, immediately he showed a look of disgust but wanted me to try it on and see it, so I did and felt really nice and I felt pretty. He basically said how he did not like it and how revealing it was. I did not want to get immediately upset and jump to conclusions, and I explained how I would wear it like a tank top and maybe even put a long sleeve shirt underneath during colder days. But he did not approve of that and said it looks like a bra and I should wear something over it. First of all, I tried a corset on yesterday and it wouldn't go on me at all, but I think corsets are really pretty, but there is this connotation of like sexualization with them, which is really difficult, especially because these people are quite young still and they're just learning about how society treats things like this. But let's carry on with the post. This is where I don't know if I overreacted, but I got upset and tried to defend myself. I said I had no negative intentions and I thought it looked like a tank top again. He had mentioned how people would stare and automatically assume it was lingerie. I started to doubt myself and feel disgusted by myself. I said, you do not know how other people will see and feel about it and that I doubt anyone would care. He then said he knows his gender better than I do and said something along the lines of, it's slutty. I did not hear what he fully said besides the word slutty. That admittedly made me cry. I felt objectified and disgusted in myself for even buying it. I explained calmly how it made me feel, and he said he is allowed an opinion and just does not like it and will not support me. This is where I thought what I said, how I reacted, was maybe wrong. I said how he sounds sexist and how he implied I was being too revealing, therefore I said should I just wear a hijab. He is an ex-Muslim due to family and no longer associates with that. I deeply regret what I said, as he said, now you are twisting my words, of course not, and I said you should sound controlling and sort of abusive. He then hung up on me and said he is deeply hurt, we have not spoken since. I am really upset, still crying as I am hurt by what he said, and feel I was stupid and overreacted again. I'm known to be sensitive. Other than this, we had been doing really good, and he is normally so supportive of my style. This is so out of character. Am I the asshole? Any advice is appreciated. Sorry again for how I wrote this. Yeah, these people are young, and with the boyfriend being an ex-Muslim, he might have some more conservative views on how women should dress and act as well. So this is difficult, but she should be able to express herself and her style however she sees fit. And the boyfriend is the one overreacting, but she was upset in the moment, which can seem like overreacting even though it's not. It's very valid feelings that she's having. But let's get into some comments. Putting the idea that his approval is necessary into your mind is planting the seed of a super controlling relationship. Keep your eyes open for other signs he thinks he gets a say in your choices. Not the asshole. Calling you slutty is grounds for a breakup for me. No way I would tolerate that. You have your whole life ahead of you. No need to waste time on a boyfriend with clear misogynistic views. Yeah, I agree with that. Calling her slutty was a big overreaction and honestly abusive. The last comment we'll get into is not the asshole. He didn't just dislike a shirt, he called it slutty and used his gender as an authority to make you feel objectified. Calling a partner controlling when they're literally trying to approve your clothing isn't an overreacting, it's an over observation. He isn't hurt, he's using a tantrum to avoid accountability for insulting you for having the style you love. And that's all the posts we have for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day, good week, good month, good year, and I'll see you in the next one.